In Naruto Reborn with a chat group chapter 101 to 120. In the Pure Land, Madara sat quietly, drowning in self-doubt. Was I really manipulated for years? Was I just a pawn this whole time? I thought I could bring true peace. Damn it, Senju Hashirama. Makoto, does that mean our world will still face threats from the Otsutsuki clan in the future? Makoto Ito. Bingo. Senju Tobarama. I thought our era was already chaotic enough, but it sounds like the future will be even worse. Namikaze Minato. Makoto, just how strong is this Otsutsuki clan? Makoto Ito. Each one of them is at least as strong as Kagaya, if not stronger. Most of them have abilities on par with the Rinnegan. Just Kagaya and Ashiki alone could defeat all of you. And guess what? Kagaya isn't even a fighter. Uchiha Madara. What? Madara was stunned. He knew firsthand how powerful the Rinnegan was since he had awakened it himself. But now he was hearing that most of the Otsutsuki clan had powers just as strong, if not stronger. Even Hashirama's face darkened. If what Makoto said was true, then the Otsutsuki weren't just another enemy, they were monsters. For a while, the chat went silent. Everyone was struggling to process this shocking revelation and worrying about what the future held for the world. Meanwhile, in the real world, Makoto finally arrived at training ground number 3. As soon as he stepped in, he saw Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura sprawled out on the ground, completely exhausted. Damn it, why isn't Kakashi-sensei here yet? He told us to meet up in the morning, but it's almost 10 o'clock now. Hearing Naruto's complaints, Makoto chuckled internally. 10 o'clock, even if you wait another 2 hours, Kakashi still won't be here. Hatake Tsukumo. What's going on? Kakashi's late again, what is he up to? Senju Tobarama. Do ninjas these days not even know the meaning of punctuality? Senju Hashirama. And it looks these poor kids have been waiting for so long. Namikaze Minato. Didn't Kakashi tell them to meet in the morning? Why is it almost noon and he still hasn't shown up? Hyuga Hazashi. Maybe he's on a mission. He is a Jonin, after all. Unexpected missions do happen. Namikaze Minato. That makes sense, I guess. Hatake Tsukumo. If it's a mission, then fine. But if he's just slacking off, that's another story. I can't believe he turned out like this, always arriving late, spending all day reading those smut books. Sigh, this is my all fault. Makoto Ito. What if he's just late for no reason? Namikaze Minato. No way, right? Uzumaki Kushina. Minato, are you serious? Didn't you see how late he was last time? All the teachers came and picked up their students, but he was nowhere to be found. He's probably off reading Master Jiraiya's books somewhere. Uchiha Makoto. That actually makes a lot of sense. And look at how exhausted those kids are. He made them come here early in the morning, on empty stomachs, and now it's almost afternoon. They must be starving. Hatake Tsukumo. If my son really doesn't have an excuse and is just being lazy, I swear, when I get resurrected, I'll personally set him straight. Makoto Ito. No need for you to do it, Senior Tsukumo. This is a small issue. I can handle it, just teach me white light blade technique, and I'll make sure Kakashi never touches those books again. Hatake Tsukumo. Honestly, Makoto, I did consider passing my sword techniques to you. But after seeing the things you've learned from Lord First and Senior Madara, I'm not sure if my skills would even be useful to you anymore. Makoto Ito. Don't say that. Back in the day, your name struck fear in the hearts of shinobi from other villages. You were a legend, the White Fang of the Hidden Leaf. People even compared you to the 3 legendary Sannin. Hatake Tsukumo. Sigh, that was a long time ago. Let's not bring it up. Senju Tobarama. HMPH. It's all because of that scheming old thief, evil Sarutobi. Tsukumo was one of the village's strongest shinobi, yet he was forced into suicide. What kind of Hokage lets that happen? I'm having a word with him the moment I get the chance. Makoto Ito. Whoa, Grandpa Second, you're changing things up. No more evil Uchiha talk. Now it's evil Sarutobi. Senju Tobarama. HMPH. They're both evil, but Sarutobi is worse. Uchiha Izuna. Sigh, what did I expect from you, you Uchiha hater? Senju Tobarama. I don't hate them for no reason. I hate them because they are hateful. As I always said, hate on an Uchiha once a day, keep the troubles away. Now, I will add Hiruzen to the list. Uchiha Izuna. Tobarama. Senju Tobarama. Izuna, Namikaze Minato. Sigh, they're at it again. Makoto Ito. This is what happens when you put two stubborn old men in the same place. Uchiha Izuna. Who are you calling old, brat? Senju Tobarama. Makoto, you little brat. Hitaki Sakumo. Weren't we talking about my son? Why are you two fighting? Makoto Ito. That's right. So, Senior Sakumo, do you want me to teach Kakashi a lesson? Hitaki Sakumo. Well, just don't be too harsh on him. After all, it's mostly my fault that he turned out this way. Group member Hitaki Sakumo has gifted the white light blade technique to group leader Makoto Ito. Makoto Ito. Huge thanks to my big bro for sending me the white light blade technique. Everyone, show some love for my awesome bro. Hitaki Sakumo. Didn't you just call me, senior? Since when did I become your big bro? Makoto Ito. Well, obviously because you're my number one big bro, senior. Senju Hashirama. Hold on a second. Shouldn't I be at the top of that list? I've given you so many good things. Makoto Ito. You're all number one. Every single one of you is my amazing big bro. Makoto sweet-talked Hashirama the same way a streamer does when they receive super chats. Then, without hesitation, he clicked to accept the white light blade technique. Grinning from ear to ear, Makoto happily added another powerful technique to his collection. Taking a moment to reflect, Makoto realized just how much he had gained since joining this legendary chat group. He had collected a vast range of techniques, covering nearly every chakra nature, and had unlocked countless unique abilities after enabling the view-sharing feature. Then there were the Sage Arts, the Senju Bloodline, and Wood style he got from Hashirama, along with Madara's extensive combat experience and a single Tomo Sharingan. He had also scammed a 3 Tomo Sharingan in the Uchiha clan's fire style technique collection out of Fugaku, as well as the Rasengan and area scanning technique out of Minato. On top of that, he had received an enormous boost in spiritual energy, and thanks to Izuna's Mangekyo, he had successfully awakened the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Now, with the Hitaki sword technique from Sakumo, he was basically an all-around powerhouse, not that he wasn't already. After mentally reviewing his insane power-ups, Makoto shifted his focus to the training ground. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura were still sitting there, looking completely exhausted. Oi, what's up with you guys? Why do you look like zombies? Makoto called out as he walked toward them. The three hadn't noticed him until he spoke, and his sudden voice startled them all. Naruto immediately jumped up. Gah, Makoto, you scared the hell out of me. When did you get here? Weren't you supposed to be training with Grandpa Hokage? Sasuke was startled too, but he quickly hid it with his usual cool expression. As for Sakura, Makoto glanced at her briefly before speaking again. Of course, I already went to the Hokage's office and spent the whole morning grinding. Not only did I master water surface walking and tree climbing, but I also learned 2 fire-style techniques. He bragged a little, just to annoy them. I'm just here to check on your assessment. Master asked me to take a look. Since we'll be working together in the future, I figured I'd drop by, he added with a smile. Hearing that, the 3 of them couldn't help but feel jealous and even more frustrated with Kakashi, who still hadn't shown up. Damn it, that's so unfair. Naruto whined. You already learned a technique. Man, I wish I was Grandpa Hokage's student instead of being stuck with our so-called teacher, who hasn't even shown up yet. He clutched his stomach and groaned, I'm starving. Makoto burst out laughing at his words. There's no way you actually skipped breakfast, right? Then, walking around Naruto, he pointed at him and smirked. There's just no way you really sat around doing nothing all morning while your teacher still hasn't shown up. I already learned 2 techniques, and someone here just wasted the entire morning. Naruto flopped onto the ground, utterly defeated. Makoto, where the hell did you learn to be this sarcastic? Sasuke was clearly annoyed as well, crossed his arms and quickly covered it up, tch. Senju Tobarama. There's no way he thinks no one noticed it, right? Uchiha Izuna. There's no way you're seriously gonna start repeating this, right? Senju Tobarama. There's no way you really got stabbed to death by me, right? Uchiha Izuna. There's no way you really died a virgin, right? Senju Tobarama. Izuna. Uchiha Izuna. Tobarama. Senju Hashirama. Ha ha ha, this is fun. Madara, let's join in too. Senju Hashirama. There's no way you really tattooed my face on your chest, right? Uchiha Madara. Shut the hell up, you fucking idiot. Senju Hashirama. The entire chat group went silent for a moment, shocked by Hashirama's message. Namikaze Minato. Hold up. Master Madara actually tattooed Lord First's face on his chest. Hyuga Hazashi. That's a pretty intimate spot. Yuhi Shinku. Is this some kind of soul bond? Might die. This is the power of friendship. Tsukumo. I wanna get a tattoo of your face too. Hitaki Tsukumo. Get away from me, fucker. Meanwhile, Madara was losing his mind. His friendship with Hashirama was already constantly misunderstood, and now this idiot had to bring up that matter for everyone to see. Uchiha Madara. Hashirama, you moron. I swear I'm going to kill you. Senju Hashirama. Whoa, don't be mad, Madara. Look, you got my face tattooed on your chest, and I haven't complained at all, so why are you so upset? Come on, anger is the devil's playground. Don't let your temper get the best of you. It's all fun and games. Hashirama's words echoed in Madara's head like an annoying mosquito buzzing non-stop in his ear. Uchiha Madara. Shut up. Mito, please, come get your man. Uzumaki Mito. Ha, if I wasn't his wife, I'd have thought he was your man. Why the hell did you get his face tattooed on your chest? Care to explain? Uchiha Madara. I can't take this shit anymore. I'm so done with you guys. Makoto Ito. Ha ha ha. Madara, I have just one question. Aside from your chest, did you perhaps get his face tattooed somewhere else? Senju Tobarama. I regret opening the chat today. Uzumaki Mito. Madara, don't you dare ignore this question. Hitaki Tsukumo. Suddenly, I'm invested in this. Namikaze Minato. Master Madara, we're waiting for an answer. Uchiha Madara. I'm leaving. Don't ever talk to me again. Uchiha Fugaku. Makoto, I think you're taking this too far. Our ancestor wouldn't do something like that without a reason. Uchiha Madara. Sigh, at least someone gets me. I had to merge with Hashirama's cells to awaken the Rinnegan, but do you know what happened? His cells were completely insane. The moment they fused with mine, they went out of control and formed his face right on my chest. I couldn't stop it. Uchiha Fugaku. See, I told you. Makoto Ito. No, this is fate. The ultimate connection between them. True love knows no limits. Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Fugaku. Fugaku gave up trying to defend Madara when he realized Makoto was just messing with him. He knew that if he argued any further, Makoto would start teasing him next. Meanwhile, out in the real world, Naruto sat on the ground, still sulking. But suddenly, his nose twitched twice. Sasuke, who was sitting nearby, also picked up on something and turned toward Makoto with suspicion. Oi, Makoto, you got food on you. Hand it over. Makoto blinked at Naruto's expectant, puppy-like eyes. What kind of bloodhound senses do you have? It's packed in 3 layers. How the hell did you guys even smell it? He then sighed. Well, I knew you two idiots were gonna skip breakfast, so I stopped by Ichiraku and grabbed some ramen to go. Here, Naruto's eyes sparkled the moment he heard that. Makoto, you're my best friend. I love you. Without hesitation, he lunged forward, arms wide open, aiming to give the highest form of appreciation, the ultimate bro hug. But Makoto calmly placed a hand on his face and pushed him back. Give me some personal space. Back up. After that, he handed over the food. Naruto was practically bouncing with excitement, circling the ramen like an overenthusiastic puppy. Oh, you got my favorite ramen. Makoto, you're a genius. How did you know? Makoto rubbed his temples. I didn't. Uncle Ichiraku gave it to me for free after hearing I got accepted as the Hokage's disciple. Damn, you are so lucky. Naruto said, ripping open a bowl and inhaling the food like a vacuum cleaner. Sasuke sat stiffly, clearly wanting to take a bite but too proud to just dive in like Naruto. He tried his best to look disinterested, sneaking quick glances at Naruto's bowl. But his stomach had other plans. A deep, loud rumble echoed through the training grounds, completely shattering his cool image. Makoto grinned at the embarrassed look on Sasuke's face. Sasuke, just eat, man. I got plenty. Sasuke turned his head away, crossing his arms. HMPH, I'm not really hungry. I'm just eating since you asked. Makoto rolled his eyes. Yeah, whatever you say. Just eat before Kakashi shows up. That was all the encouragement Sasuke needed. He snatched a bowl and started eating just as fast as Naruto. Sakura, on the other hand, sat awkwardly on the sidelines. She wasn't particularly close to Makoto like the others, and their last interaction hadn't been the friendliest. During a briefing at the academy, Makoto had bluntly told her she was in the way, and she hadn't forgotten. Noticing her hesitation, Makoto sighed. As much as he wasn't a fan of Sakura, it didn't feel right to leave her out while the rest of them enjoyed a meal together. Hey, Sakura, you want some? I brought extra. Her face lit up upon hearing his words. Really? Thanks, Makoto. That's so nice of you. She quickly took a bowl, joining the rest of the team in their impromptu ramen feast. Thankfully, Makoto had accounted for Naruto's absurd appetite, or the food would have been gone in an instant. Leaning back, Makoto watched the three of them eat with a slight smile on his lips. Senju Hashirama. What a beautiful sight. This is exactly what I wanted to protect. This is the will of fire. Uchiha Madara. Hashirama, do you remember the first thing you said to me when you tried to convince me to build the village together? Senju Hashirama. Of course I do. Our clans were still at war back then. I told you I wanted to build a village, a safe haven where young ninja could grow up in peace, where they could laugh and smile without fearing war. Uchiha Madara. Hey, you actually remember every word. Senju Hashirama. Of course. How could I forget such an important moment? Back at the training grounds, Naruto slurped up the last of his ramen and let out a satisfied sigh. Man, that hit the spot. Sasuke wiped his mouth, trying to act like he hadn't just eaten faster than Naruto. It was all right. Sakura smiled shyly. Thanks, Makoto. Makoto just waved them off. Yeah, just remember this the next time you guys think about skipping breakfast. Naruto's eyes lit up. Wait, Makoto, you still haven't treated us for becoming the Hokage's student. How about taking us out for another meal later? Makoto sighed. What about the barbecue we had last time? That was Sasuke's treat, Naruto said with a shameless grin. Sasuke scoffed. You just want free food. Naruto gasped, pointing an accusing finger. Sasuke, how could you doubt my noble intentions? Fine, but only if you treat us to meal first, Makoto said with a grin. He clutched his chest dramatically. I thought we were friends. And friends don't freeload. As Naruto rolled on the ground in despair, the rest of the team simply laughed, enjoying the rare, peaceful moment together. Uchiha Makoto. Looks like Sasuke has finally made some real friends he can connect with. Uchiha Fugaku. Yeah, Uzumaki Kushina. Minato, our Naruto has formed his own bonds too. Namikaze Minato. He sure has. Senju Tobirama. Bonds, huh? Then why does this whole thing feel more and more like romance? Namikaze Minato. Excuse me, Uchiha Fugaku. What? Uzumaki Kushina. Huh? Uchiha Makoto. Seriously, Senju Hashirama. Tobirama, why do you always have to ruin a wholesome moment? Senju Tobirama. I'm just saying, look at them. Sasuke and Naruto literally had their first kiss with each other. There's definitely something going on there. It kind of reminds me of you and Madara, big brother. And then you have Naruto running after that pink-haired girl, but she only has eyes for Sasuke. If you ask me, this has all the makings of a classic love triangle. Uchiha Madara. Tobirama, why are you so weird? Uzumaki Kushina. Exactly, Naruto and Sasuke are obviously just friends. Uchiha Makoto. That's right. Not everyone is like you and Ancestor Izuna, two eternal virgins who never had a relationship. Uchiha Izuna. Hey, why am I getting dragged into this? Meanwhile, Makoto glanced over at Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, then casually started singing Fighting Dreamers, the fourth opening song of the OG Naruto series. We are fighting dreamers, heading for the top, fighting dreamers, not caring about appearances, fighting dreamers, fighting for what we believe in. Ollie 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 oh, just go my way, right here right now, let it out like a straight liner. Right here, right now. Finish it off, get the fire. ... Senju Tobirama. What song is this? It's kinda catchy. Senju Hashirama. Yeah, it's got a nice energy to it. Uchiha Madara. Didn't expect you to be a musical germ, kid. Makoto Ito. HMPH. If you ask me, the only thing filthy here is the tattoo on your body, it's like a breeding ground for bacteria. Madara's eye twitched as he read the message. Wait, I clearly typed musical gem, so why the hell did he read it like? His thoughts came to a halt as he glanced back at his message and spotted the typo. Quote ... Fuck. Naruto's eyes lit up after hearing him sing the song. Makoto, what's that song called? I've decided, when I become Hokage, you have to perform it live. Right, Sasuke, isn't it awesome? To everyone's surprise, Sasuke actually nodded. Not bad, I didn't think you had it in you. Makoto then formed a hand seal and used great fireball technique to burn the empty food containers, erasing any evidence of their meal. Now full in content, the four of them sprawled out on the grassy training ground, lazily waiting for their ever-late sensei. Kakashi-sensei is seriously pushing it. Naruto groaned, rolling on the ground in frustration. It's already noon, and he's still not here. Sasuke lay back with his hands behind his head, scowling. TCH, he's completely unreliable. Even Sakura crossed her arms in annoyance. Yeah, he told us to be here in the morning, and now it's almost lunchtime. If Makoto hadn't brought food, we'd be starving. Uchiha Madara. This Kakashi guy, he's making his students wait this long. Senju Hashirama. No sense of responsibility at all. Senju Tobirama. Minato, this was your student. What kind of example did you set for him? Namikaze Minato. Hitaki Tsukumo. Sai, I swear, this boy of mine needs a serious wake-up call. Just as the group members was still busy roasting Kakashi, the man himself strolled onto the training ground. The sun was already high in the sky, and lunchtime had long passed. Yet, as if nothing was wrong, Kakashi lazily waved at his team. Morning, everyone. Naruto shot to his feet, practically yelling at him. Morning, Kakashi-sensei, you're hours late. Do you even know what time it is? Sasuke and Sakura crossed their arms, glaring at him angrily. Kakashi scratched the back of his head, looking entirely unbothered. Well, I got lost on the way here. Naruto's eye twitched after hearing his words. What kind of excuse is that? Sakura scoffed, folding her arms. I don't buy it. Kakashi ignored their protests and instead turned his attention to Makoto. He didn't say anything as Hiruzen had already briefed him about Makoto joining their team. Besides, according to the reports, Makoto had already mastered the shadow clone technique in Rasengan from the Scroll of Seals. His strength would definitely be a valuable addition to the team. With a casual shrug, Kakashi reached into his pocket and pulled out 2 small bells along with an alarm clock. Since Makoto wasn't his student, he wouldn't be participating in the test. So, just like in the original storyline, there were only 2 bells. Alright, let's get started, shall we? Kakashi said, flashing his usual eye smile. Naruto, still fuming, clenched his fists. Sensei, I swear, I'll make you pay for making us wait this long. Kakashi simply chuckled. Oh, then let's see what you've got, my dear students. And with that, the infamous bell test was about to begin. Kakashi set the alarm clock for 30 minutes. Raising the 2 bells in his hand, he looked at his 3 students standing before him, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. As you can see, I have 2 bells here, he said. Your goal is to take them from me. But since there are 3 of you and only 2 bells, at least one person will fail and be sent back to the academy. He paused, letting that sink in before continuing. You are allowed to use any weapons or jutsu at your disposal. If you don't come at me seriously, you won't stand a chance. Senju Tobirama. Isn't this the same exercise I used to train Hiruzen? So they still use the bell test even now. Uchiha Madara. At first, I was interested. Now, I see it's just a game for kids. Senju Tobirama. It's a teamwork exercise, you idiot. Uchiha Madara. Teamwork, oh please, will that stop me from crushing them in a fight? Senju Tobirama. Fine, you win. I'm not arguing with you. Naruto crossed his arms, looking unimpressed. Sensei, stop bragging already. You couldn't even dodge a blackboard eraser. Kakashi glanced at him, his eye narrowing slightly. You know, the ones who talk big are usually the weakest, he said. Alright, we're starting now. With that, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a familiar orange book. Without a care in the world, he flipped it open and began reading. Hitaki Tsukumo. This damn son of mine, he's supposed to be testing his students, and he's reading that book. Does he have any idea how embarrassing this is for me? Senju Hashirama. Oh, that's the book Jiraiya wrote, right? Uchiha Madara. Just from the title, I can tell it's trash. Namikaze Minato. Sigh, I can't believe Kakashi is reading that book in front of students. Makoto watched from the sidelines. Since he wasn't part of the test, he could just sit back and enjoy the show. As soon as Kakashi gave the signal, Sasuke and Sakura disappeared. Sasuke concealed himself in the trees, using the dense leaves to hide his presence. Sakura crouched behind a bush, but instead of focusing on the mission, she was scanning the area for Sasuke's location. Back in the training field, only Naruto and Kakashi remained in the open. Kakashi, of course, had already sensed where Sasuke and Sakura were hiding. For someone of his level, their concealment was practically useless. Two genin trying to hide from a seasoned jonin was almost laughable. Meanwhile, Naruto made no effort to hide at all. "Alright, sensei, here I come," he shouted. "I'll take you down and get that bell for sure." Makoto smirked. This was going to be interesting. Namikaze Minato. Naruto sure is motivated. Senju Hashirama. I like the energy. Uchiha Madara. Energy is nice and all, but this is reckless. Kakashi is a jonin. Simply charging in won't end well. Senju Tobirama. Agreed. The kid is naive. Actually, his mindset reminds me of my brother's. Uchiha Madara. Now that you mention it, yeah. He has that same ridiculous optimism. Senju Tobirama. Right, if I didn't know any better, I'd think he was my brother's son instead of Minato's. Makoto kept an eye on both the training field and the ongoing discussion. Suddenly, a thought occurred to him. Ito Makoto. Hey, Madara, don't you think Sasuke acts a little like you? Uchiha Madara. Not at all. That kid gets beaten up every time he tries to show off. In my case, I was the one doing the beating. Senju Hashirama. I don't know. Every time you tried to act cool with me, I ended up beating you. Uchiha Madara. Shut up, Hashirama. Kakashi sighed, lowering his book slightly. Naruto, haven't you noticed what your teammates are doing? They're waiting for the right moment to attack. And here you are, charging straight at me without a plan. Naruto grinned confidently. Ha, a teacher who couldn't even dodge a blackboard eraser isn't going to be that hard to beat. He rushed at Kakashi, ready to attack. Uchiha Madara. Wow, he really just ran in headfirst. Senju Tobirama. His thought process is so simple it hurts. He really is just like my brother. Senju Hashirama. Kakashi doesn't even care. He's still reading his book. Hitaki Tsukumo. Please stop talking. Do you have any idea how humiliating this is? My son is just standing there, reading Make Out Paradise in the middle of an exam. Might die. Tsukumo. This is the passion of youth. Welcome to Fanfic Audiobook, your go-to place for immersive audiobooks. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. Hitaki Tsukumo. Do you ever stop talking about youth? Are you actually insane? Are you a retard? Might die. Oh, Tsukumo actually insulted me. This is youth. I must not let my passion fade. Under Tsukumo's encouragement, I will do 10,000 push-ups. And if I can't do that, then 100,000 sit-ups. Youth. Hitaki Tsukumo. No, he is a retard. Uchiha Madara. He is definitely not normal. Uchiha Izuna. How does Konoha keep producing such weird ninjas? Ito Makoto. Konoha has a long history of it. From the forbidden bond between the first Hokage and Madara to the lifelong toxic friendship of the third Hokage and Danzo. You won't find normal ninjas here. It's a just village full of weirdos. Uchiha Madara. Can you not drag me into this nonsense? Senju Hashirama. Exactly, why are we getting involved? Shouldn't we be talking about Kakashi reading his dirty book during a test? Makoto looked over at Kakashi, who was still flipping through Make Out Paradise. Ito Makoto. Do you really think he is normal? He spends his entire day glued to that book. No wonder he always looks exhausted. Namikaze Minato. Seriously, I don't understand why Jiraiya-sensei even writes these kinds of books. Uzumaki Kushina. Minato, you haven't secretly read them, have you? Namikaze Minato. What? No, of course not. How could I? I am a respectable man. I am the fourth Hokage. I am a bright, upright, and honorable person. I am the yellow flash of the leaf. I would never read such a thing. Never. Absolutely never. Senju Tobirama. You're reacting a little too much. This just made you look more suspicious. Uchiha Madara. Exactly. If you really hadn't read it, you'd just say so. Why the whole dramatic speech? Ito Makoto. It's a classic sign of lying. People who are guilty tend to over-explain. Senju Hashirama. Oh, that makes sense. So you have read it, Minato. Was it any good? Tell us about it. Uzumaki Kushina. Minato, I can't believe you. You were secretly reading those books behind my back. Damn that perverted old man Jiraiya. Why would he write such trash? Namikaze Minato. I swear, I didn't read it. This is all a misunderstanding. Uzumaki Kushina. I don't want to hear it. Minato, I never thought you were that kind of person. You're sleeping on the couch tonight. Namikaze Minato. Please, listen to me. Makoto burst out laughing. This chat group was getting more entertaining by the day. The conversations were completely unhinged. Meanwhile, back on the training field, Naruto charged at Kakashi, fists clenched. But as he got closer, he noticed something that made his blood boil. Kakashi was still reading his book. Kakashi-sensei, why are you still reading? Kakashi lazily glanced at him with his usual bored expression. One hand is more than enough to deal with you, he said. Naruto's face turned red with anger. He quickly formed a hand seal and shouted, "Shadow clone technique." With a series of loud pops, dozens, no, hundreds of Narutos flooded the training ground. But despite the overwhelming numbers, Kakashi barely reacted. With just one hand, he effortlessly dealt with every single clone. Namikaze Minato. That's completely ineffective. Hyuga Hazashi. Yeah, Kakashi is handling this too easily. Uchiha Madara. The shadow clone technique is useless. It just turns one weakling into a whole group of weaklings. Senju Hashirama. That's not entirely true. If I used shadow clones, it'd be pretty overpowered. Naruto continued attacking without any real strategy, relying purely on brute force. But Kakashi barely moved from his spot, dodging and countering every strike with ease. It was almost painful to watch. Makoto's eyes lit up with excitement. He knew what was coming next. A moment that would go down in history. On the field, Kakashi sighed, finally getting tired of Naruto's reckless attacks. As Naruto threw another punch, Kakashi sidestepped, causing him to stumble forward. A ninja should never expose their back to the enemy, Kakashi said. Naruto's eyes widened as Kakashi quickly formed a single hand seal. Sakura and Sasuke, watching from their hiding spots, froze in shock. Sakura clutched her head in horror. No way, is Kakashi-sensei actually using a jutsu against Naruto? Sasuke's eyes narrowed. That's a fire-style jutsu hand sign. Sakura suddenly shot up from her hiding spot, screaming at the top of her lungs. Naruto, run, he's gonna kill you. Naruto, completely oblivious to the danger, turned toward her with a confused expression. Uchiha Madara. Hold up, he is actually using a technique to deal with a kid. Senju Tobirama. Is that the tiger seal? Is he about to use fire style? Senju Hashirama. Minato, didn't you say Kakashi was your student? Why does it look like he's treating Naruto like his mortal enemy? Namikaze Minato. Well, Uzumaki Kushina. That idiot Kakashi. What the hell does he think he's doing? Hitaki Sakumo. This can't be real, right? Does he seriously need to use a jutsu for this? Everyone watched with wide eyes, waiting for what came next. But instead of weaving signs for a fire-style technique, Kakashi squatted down. Behold, Konoha's ultimate taijutsu secret technique, 1,000 Years of Death. With that, under everyone's stunned gazes, Kakashi jabbed his fingers straight toward Naruto's butt. At that instant, the world seemed to tremble, and a certain someone's dignity was shattered beyond repair. Naruto, who had just turned his head to see Sakura screaming at him to run, suddenly felt an excruciating pain in his butt. Ah, his entire world went black and white. If it was a manga, his art style would literally change from a bright shonen protagonist to a tragic 80s manga character. In a perfect physics-defying arc, he soared through the sky, before crashing straight into the river. Sasuke and Sakura were frozen in place, their jaws dropped in shock. This was Konoha's legendary ultimate taijutsu. Makoto, on the other hand, had only one thought. Well, at least Naruto won't have to worry about constipation ever again. And just like that, the chat group exploded again. Uzumaki Kushina. No, my baby, Namikaze. Naruto. Senju Tobirama. Holy shit. Uchiha Madara. What the hell? Uchiha Izuna. What kind of insane technique is this? Senju Hashirama. Are all of Konoha's taijutsu techniques this ridiculous now? Senju Tobirama. Fourth, didn't you say Kakashi was your student? Did he learn this secret technique from you? Namikaze Minato. No way. I never taught him this technique and I'm not even good at taijutsu. First of all, why would I come up with something like this? Senju Hashirama. Naruto must be in so much pain right now. Senju Tobirama. No kidding, brother. Did you see how far he flew? Uzumaki Kushina. Kakashi, you monster. My baby's butt, how could you do this to him? Minato and I took care of you, and this is how you treat our son. Makoto Ito. But at least Naruto's digestive system should be working fine now, right? Senju Tobirama. Your ability to think positively is honestly impressive. Uchiha Madara. What kind of perspective is that? Yuhi Shinku. If Minato didn't teach him that technique, then did Kakashi invent it by himself? Hyuga Hazashi. That's some next level creativity. Might die. Such a brilliant move. Imagine using it with the 8 inner gates. It would be legendary. Hitaki Sakumo. You're not human. Uchiha Fugaku. 1,000 years of death is already horrifying. But using the 8 gates with it? Who is this lunatic? Does he want to become the destroyer of all butts? Hitaki Sakumo. I don't even have the strength to look at this anymore. How did my son turn out like this? Sigh. Senju Hashirama. You shouldn't be too hard on him. This actually takes quite a bit of creativity. A sane person wouldn't even think of coming up with such a bizarre move. Kakashi is definitely a genius. Hitaki Sakumo. Senju Tobirama. Brother, are you trying to comfort him or insult him? Uchiha Madara. Don't bother. Hashirama's too simple-minded to insult anyone on purpose. Uzumaki Kushina. I'm still not over it. My baby's butt. What did Naruto do to get his butt wrecked? Kakashi, you ungrateful brat. Uchiha Makoto. I'm genuinely worried now, is Sasuke going to be next? Senju Hashirama. Hey everyone, you are all forgetting about Sakura. Senju Tobirama. What the hell are you implying? Uchiha Madara. Wait, Sakura's a girl. There's no way he'd pull this move on a girl, right? Uchiha Izuna. If he actually did, that would be beyond messed up. Might die. Sakumo. This move, could it be the Hitaki clan's legendary secret technique? It's so wonderful. I feel inspired. I can't wait to challenge you to a duel and use it on you. At this moment, Sakumo's soul had already left his body. Because never did he think his son would turn out like this. He wasn't a ninja, he was a menace to society. After watching Naruto fall into the river, Kakashi let out a sigh, flipped open his book and started reading again. But before he could read a line, the river started bubbling violently. Suddenly, a whole swarm of Narutos came flying out of the water, crashing onto the shore. Kakashi raised an eyebrow, mildly surprised. Well, he sure knows how to make an entrance, and talk a lot. The Narutos charged at him, leaping high into the air. But before they could land a hit, Kakashi casually swung his fist and sent one of the clones flying with a single punch. OWWW, that hurts. And just like that, in a matter of seconds, Kakashi wiped out Naruto's entire army of clones with a few swift moves. The battle was over before Naruto could land a hit on Kakashi. Naruto was sprawled out on the ground, groaning in defeat. Kakashi tucked his book under his arm and strolled toward the forest where Sasuke and Sakura were hiding. Sasuke had been preparing for this moment. He had set up a series of traps, carefully plotting his strategy to take on Kakashi. But in the end, the gap in their skill levels was just too wide. Even after pulling off an impressive fireball technique, which seemed to hit Kakashi head-on, it turned out he had only struck an earth clone. Before Sasuke could react, Kakashi was already behind him, swiftly taking him down with ease. And as for Sakura, she got defeated even faster. In the end, no one managed to grab a bell. Kakashi stood before the three of them, looking at them with his usual neutral expression. Honestly, I'm really disappointed. None of you seem to understand the true purpose of this test. There was no teamwork, no coordination. Everyone was just doing their own thing. Naruto charged at me recklessly, Sasuke fought alone, and Sakura, well, let's not even talk about her. One by one, I took you all down easily. You completely failed this test. Hearing his words, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura all looked down, dejected. Standing off to the side, Makoto watched everything unfold with great interest. It seemed that because of his presence, some things had changed slightly from the original timeline. Naruto wasn't tied to a post this time, so how was Kakashi going to handle this part of the test now? Just as the three of them were feeling completely hopeless, Kakashi suddenly gave them a glimmer of hope. However, despite your terrible performance, I'm willing to give you another chance. After lunch, you'll get one more opportunity to pass this test. Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura looked up at him in surprise and Kakashi continued. That being said, Naruto, you were the worst performer. You charged in blindly without considering your teammates, so as a punishment, you won't be eating lunch. Sasuke, Sakura, you two have meals, but you are forbidden from sharing with Naruto. If you do, you'll all fail on the spot. He placed 2 lunch boxes on the ground and turned away. I'll be back this afternoon for the second test. If you fail again, you can say goodbye to becoming genin and head straight back to the academy. And with that, Kakashi walked off into the woods, or at least, that's what he wanted them to think. In reality, he had simply hidden behind a tree, watching them closely. He was waiting to see if they would break his rule and share their food with Naruto, which would be the true test of their teamwork. Observing from the side, Makoto smirked. But then something unexpected happened. Nobody touched the lunchboxes. Kakashi frowned behind his mask. Wait, why aren't they eating? The 3 of them just sat there, staring at the ground, not even glancing at the food. Kakashi scratched his head in confusion. They should be starving, right? Then, why aren't they eating? Minutes passed. Still, no one reached for the food. Now, Kakashi was completely lost. What the hell is going on? His test couldn't continue if they didn't eat. He needed them to struggle with the moral dilemma of sharing food with Naruto. Am I seriously going to have to fight them again this afternoon? Kakashi had a minor existential crisis. Behind the tree, he leaned against the trunk, hands on his head, staring up at the sky. What am I supposed to do now? Not far away, Makoto chuckled, watching Kakashi struggle with his thoughts. Senju Hashirama. What kind of test is this? Kakashi didn't even leave. Uchiha Madara. So, this entire thing was just a bluff. Senju Tobirama. Exactly. The real test isn't about the bells, it's about teamwork. If Sasuke and Sakura refuse to share their food with Naruto, then they truly don't belong on the same squad. But if they do share, then they pass. Uchiha Izuna. So it was a mind game all along. Senju Tobirama. That's right. Hyuga Hazashi. What the heck? This is ridiculous. Everyone's playing 4D chess, and I just want a normal training session. Senju Hashirama. But there's a problem here. Naruto and the others aren't hungry because they ate earlier. So, how's Kakashi going to continue the test? Senju Tobirama. Yeah, that might be a problem. Uchiha Madara. Ha ha ha, look at Kakashi, he's completely lost. And so, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura just sat there, looking at each other, while Kakashi stood behind the tree, questioning his entire plan. Makoto watched the whole scene with an amused smile, enjoying the drama unfolding before him. He glanced at Naruto and his teammates, who were sitting around clueless, then turned his gaze to Kakashi, who was hiding behind a tree, struggling with an existential crisis. Kakashi, realizing that Makoto had noticed him, quickly scribbled a note and tossed it in his direction at lightning speed. Makoto opened the note and read with a knowing smile. Get them to eat their lunch already. Looking up, he saw Kakashi making exaggerated hand gestures, pointing first at Naruto and the others and then at the untouched lunchboxes on the ground. At this point, Kakashi looked less like a legendary ninja and more like a man desperately trying to communicate in charades. Uchiha Madara. Wow, is he really calling in outside help now? Doesn't he have any backup plans? Senju Tobirama. I guess he was confident in his plans. That aside, if Makoto doesn't step in, Kakashi might just lose his mind. Uzumaki Kushina. Don't help him. That masked fool made my baby suffer. Let him stew in his own mess. Namikaze Minato. Dear, you do realize that if Naruto and the others don't eat, they might fail the test, right? Closing square bracket. Uzumaki Kushina. Makoto. Get them to eat, now. Uchiha Makoto. Yes, yes. Look at Kakashi, he's about to explode from stress. With the 2 mothers in a full-blown panic, Makoto figured he might as well intervene. He wasn't expecting this twist in the story, but his presence had clearly thrown the script out the window. Kakashi had probably envisioned a smooth scenario where the students would give Naruto food, learn a lesson about teamwork, and pass the test. Instead, nobody was eating, and Kakashi was behind a tree, about to have a meltdown. On the other hand, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura were discussing how to tackle the afternoon assessment. They had at least come to one important realization. If they didn't work together, they had no chance of winning. Genin were simply no match for a Jonin. The 2 lunchboxes were still untouched, lying on the ground, completely ignored. Hiding behind the tree, Kakashi was losing his patience. Why wasn't this going according to plan? By now, they were supposed to be starving, giving in, and start eating their meals. Then, Sasuke and Sakura were meant to share with Naruto, prompting him to make a dramatic entrance, deliver a meaningful speech about teamwork, and declare them official genin. Kakashi glared at Makoto, practically begging him to step in. With a sigh, Makoto got up, dusted himself off, and walked over to the trio. Listen, before you worry about the test, shouldn't you at least eat first? You're already at a huge disadvantage against Kakashi. If you go into battle hungry, you'll stand even less of a chance. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura all turned to look at the lunchboxes. Sakura hesitated, but Kakashi-sensei said Naruto isn't allowed to eat. If we share, we'll fail. Naruto slumped in disappointment upon hearing her words. Sasuke, however, didn't hesitate. He grabbed one of the lunchboxes, tossed it to Sakura, then split his own in half and handed part of it to Naruto. Sasuke muttered, if we don't eat, we'll definitely fail. And let's be real, our chances aren't great even if we do eat. Worst case, we go back to the academy for another year. He gave Naruto a pointed look. And I'm an Uchiha. An Uchiha doesn't sit around stuffing his face while his teammate starves. Naruto stared at him in shock. Because of Makoto's presence, they had all been through a lot more than in the original timeline. Sasuke, having seen Naruto's struggles firsthand, had already started to consider him a real teammate. Listening to Sasuke's words, Sakura made up her mind. She took her lunchbox, split it in 2, and handed a portion to Naruto. I know you eat a lot, Naruto. I don't need as much, so this works out, she said with a small smile. Naruto looked between the two of them, eyes wide. He had fully expected them to let him go hungry. After all, if they shared, they would all fail. This was the rule, but now, they were breaking that rule for him. Naruto felt tears welling in his eyes. To someone who had spent his whole life being ignored, insulted, and treated like an outcast, these simple lunchboxes were more valuable than anything in the world. He turned to Sasuke, his vision blurry with emotion. At this moment, he didn't know what to say. He had been on the receiving end of so much hate from the villagers, but Sasuke, who always called him an idiot, had never once treated him like a monster. Sasuke had always been different. And Naruto would never forget that. Naruto looked down at the 2 halves of a lunchbox in front of him, then suddenly grinned and pushed them toward Makoto. Makoto, you treated us to ramen earlier, so this is my treat. Enjoy, he said proudly. Sasuke, Sakura, and Makoto all stared at him, bewildered. Naruto, aren't you going to eat? Sakura asked, raising an eyebrow. Naruto scratched the back of his head awkwardly. Well, of course, I am. But if Kakashi-sensei finds out I ate, you and Sasuke will be disqualified. I can't let that happen. Makoto chuckled and glanced over at Kakashi, who was still hiding behind the tree. Sensing that the moment had arrived, Kakashi suddenly leapt out like a ninja caught eavesdropping. You 3, you completely ignored my instructions. Kakashi said, looking dead serious. I told you 2 not to share food with Naruto. And what do? You share it anyway. That means you fail the test. TCH. Like I care. If your idea of an exam is playing mind games instead of testing actual skills, then I'm not interested. You might be a so-called elite ninja, but all I see is a guy pulling weird stunts. Sasuke scoffed, crossing his arms. And I'm an Uchiha. We don't just sit back and watch our teammates starve while we eat. That's right, Sakura chimed in right after him. Even if Naruto is a total idiot most of the time, and honestly, I wasn't thrilled about being in the same team as him. She paused, then puffed out her chest. He's still my teammate, but Kakashi-sensei, you're a weirdo. First, you mess with us about the bells, then you try to make Naruto skip a meal. Look at you, you always look exhausted, you're obsessed with that dumb romance book, and you give off the energy of a man who hasn't slept in years. You don't seem like a serious teacher at all. And honestly, failing this test wouldn't be the worst thing ever. We can just come back next year and pass without all this nonsense. Makoto had to turn away for a second to hide his laugh. He could tell from Kakashi's expression that getting roasted by his own students was not part of the plan. The last time he had gone through this test, it was under the 4th Hokage, and back then, his team had been completely outmatched. Now, he tried the same trick and met with completely unexpected results. After hearing their words, Naruto looked horrified. Guys, don't just say stuff like that. I don't want you both to fail because of me. He spun to Kakashi. Sensei, it's true that they gave me food, but I didn't eat it, not even a bite. So technically, they didn't break the rules, right? Makoto can vouch for me. Makoto simply observed the situation with a smile on his face. Compared to how things played out in the original timeline, Team 7 was already developing a much stronger bond. Senju Tobirama. Now this is getting interesting. Senju Hashirama. Yeah, this is what teamwork is all about. Uchiha Madara. HMPH. Not bad. A Jinchuriki, an Uchiha orphan, and a civilian-born ninja, quite the odd mix. But I have to admit, their teamwork is solid. I'm curious to see how far they'll go. Uchiha Izuna. Well, at least our Uchiha kid has potential. And Naruto's got the 9 tails. But that girl, she's kind of just there. Makoto Ito. Yeah, compared to my Hinata, Sakura is pretty average. Hyuga Hazashi. Oi, since when was Hinata yours? What are you scheming, you little punk? Makoto Ito. Huh, that was obviously a slip of the tongue. Why are you getting so worked up? Hyuga Hazashi. TCH. Just stay away from my niece, you sneaky little brat. Namikaze Minato. They're coming together nicely. Kakashi really knows how to bring out their strengths. Uzumaki Kushina. Look at my Naruto go. That knucklehead really cherishes his friends. I'm so proud of him. Uchiha Fugaku. Sasuke is carrying himself well, just as expected. He's still got a long way to go, but the potential is there. Uchiha Makoto. Oh, come on, Fugaku. Look at that fire in his eyes. He reminds me so much of Itachi when he was younger. Might die. Yes, the power of teamwork. Their passion is burning bright. If they keep this up, they might just gain the true strength of youth. Back on the training ground, Kakashi stared at his 3 students. They were all nervous. They didn't want to fail, no matter what they had said earlier. Then, unexpectedly, Kakashi's serious expression softened, and he chuckled. Well, looks like you guys actually understand the most important lesson after all. Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto blinked in confusion. Kakashi smiled behind his mask. Congratulations, you pass. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura all stared at Kakashi, completely dumbfounded. Hadn't he just told them there was supposed to be another fight in the afternoon? Weren't they supposed to grab the bells? How had they suddenly passed the test without doing either? A series of questions formed in their mind. Naruto blinked in confusion and scratched his head before turning to Kakashi. Sensei, are you really telling the truth? All 3 of us really passed? Kakashi nodded his head and explained, you heard me right. The 3 of you passed the test. The truth is, this test wasn't about getting the bells. It was about teamwork. The real test was whether Sasuke and Sakura would share their food with you earlier. If Sasuke and Sakura had chosen not to share the food, you guys would have failed. He paused, then added in a serious tone, a ninja who doesn't follow the rules is considered trash, but a ninja who doesn't care about their comrades is even worse than trash. Kakashi smiled. With that, Team 7 is officially formed. Naruto's eyes widened before he suddenly jumped up with his fists raised in excitement. Yes, we did it, Sasuke smirked, clenching his fist in satisfaction, while Sakura let out a relieved sigh, shoulders relaxing. And just like that, Team 7 was born. Senju Hashirama. A ninja who doesn't follow the rules is trash, but a ninja who abandons their comrades is worse. That's a solid philosophy. I like it. Senju Tobirama. I never expected Kakashi to say something so deep. Did he get that from one of those books he's always reading? Uchiha Izuna. I am pretty sure those books don't include lessons on friendship. Namikaze Minato. Seeing everyone so happy really warms my heart. Hitaki Sakumo. Well, at least he finally said something sensible. Otherwise, I might just hand over all my strength and revive myself just to give him a good scolding. Hyuga Hazashi. Ha ha ha, imagine if Kakashi actually got scolded by you in front of the villagers. People would be like, hey, isn't that the white fang of the leaf? The legendary ninja who came back from death just to lecture his son. Hitaki Sakumo. I regret speaking. Uchiha Madara. I, Madara Uchiha, declare you the nagging dad of the leaf. Senju Hashirama. Ha 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 ha, that's a fine nickname, Tsukumo. Senju Tobarama. Ha ha ha, I really pity Tsukumo. The first time he saw his son after a long time, he was reading a smut book. Uchiha Izuna. Guys, stop making fun of him. Don't you know how he died? Hitaki Tsukumo. Dash 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 dash. Back in the outside world, Makoto watched from the sidelines and felt a mix of nostalgia and amusement. To celebrate Team 7's formation, Kakashi decided to treat them to dinner. He even invited Makoto along. After all, it seemed like Makoto might be tagging along with them from time to time, so Kakashi figured one extra meal wouldn't hurt. Naruto was over the moon at the mention of food. You're the best, Kakashi-sensei. Before heading to the restaurant, Kakashi had everyone take a group photo to commemorate the moment. Makoto ended up being the one to take the picture. Then, they all headed to a barbecue place. As a jonin, Kakashi wasn't exactly hurting for cash, so he went all out, ordering a massive feast for everyone. After the meal, Kakashi told Team 7 to meet him early the next morning for their first mission. Makoto, on the other hand, wasn't sure what Hiruzen had in store for him, so he figured he'd check in tomorrow and see if he'd be joining them. With that, everyone went their separate ways for the night. Makoto strolled through the village aimlessly, enjoying the peaceful evening. But while he was relaxing, trouble was brewing elsewhere. Deep within Konoha's underground, at the headquarters of Root. They're useless. Danzo slammed his hand on his desk, glaring at the three ninjas kneeling before him. A team of a jonin and two chunin, and they still failed to bring back a single kid. Pathetic. The trio flinched but remained silent. There was no excuse they could offer that would satisfy him. Danzo was baffled as the team hadn't returned yet. Did Sarutobi intervene? Or perhaps, Kakashi? But no matter how much he speculated, he never once considered the possibility that Makoto himself was responsible. Danzo narrowed his eyes, then looked toward another trio of Root operatives, one jonin and two chunin, the same composition as the last team. You three, go and bring Makoto back. Quote, and don't you dare fail like those trashes. If you return empty-handed, don't bother coming back at all. Understood, Lord Danzo, they answered in unison before disappearing into the shadows. Danzo sat back in his chair, fingers steepled, deep in thought. Hiruzen, you've grown old. You're not fit to be a Hokage anymore. Just look at your students. One became a traitor, one is an emotional wreck, and the last one is a lazy fool who writes trashy books all day. Truly pathetic. His lips curled into a smirk. Makoto's potential will be wasted under you. I will bring him into Root. I will mold him into something greater. Back at home, Makoto was relaxing in the bath, completely unaware of Danzo's scheming. Senju Tobarama. Kid, I don't get it. You said you're taking a shower, so why'd you turn off the shared vision? Makoto Ito. Grandpa second, ever heard of privacy? Senju Tobarama. PFF'd. Privacy. You're just a brat, Makoto Ito. That aside, the real reason is that I don't want you feeling insecure. Did you know I usually have to wrap this thing around my waist? Uchiha Madara. Wrap it around your waist. What, did you level up or something? Senju Hashirama. Wait, you can actually wrap it. How does that even work? Makoto Ito. See, Grandpa first understands, probably because he's the only one who ever got married. Unlike you two, still single after all these years. Uchiha Madara. Hashirama, you idiot. You actually believe that? Just as Makoto was about to turn the vision sharing back on, he suddenly heard a rustling sound. Three masked Root ninjas appeared before him, weapons drawn. Kid, you're coming with us. Lord Danzo wants to see you. These guys again, Makoto sighed, looking at them with disappointment. Even if Danzo himself showed up, it wouldn't matter as he had already reached cage-level strength. You guys just don't give up, huh? He muttered, shaking his head. His eyes held nothing but pity for them. No more talking. Come quietly, the leader ordered, stepping forward, ready to grab him. Senju Hashirama. What the hell is going on? Makoto Ito. Danzo sent people after me again. Senju Tobarama. Does Danzo not have a brain? He only sent a jonin and two chunin. Didn't he learn his lesson last time? These small fries don't stand a chance against Makoto. Namikaze Minato. He probably assumes they were taken out by Lord Third or some hidden protectors assigned to Makoto. Uchiha Fugaku. HMPH. That bandaged bandit must have lost his mind after failing to become Hokage. Uchiha Madara. Enough about that patchwork ninja. Just turn the damn screen back on, Makoto. Not wanting to keep them in suspense, Makoto turned the vision sharing back on. Immediately, everyone saw the scene in his house. Makoto, now dressed in his pajamas, stood calmly while the 3 root ninjas surrounded him in a triangle formation. Senju Tobirama. Kid's awfully relaxed for a hostage situation. Uchiha Izuna. Danzo is like an annoying fly, always buzzing around but never actually doing anything. Uchiha Madara. More like a damn cockroach. That wood-style wannabe just won't go away. Hyuga Hazashi. Isn't it exhausting how he keeps coming back to cause problems? Makoto Ito. If he didn't, I'd be shocked. He's basically the designated plot convenience villain. Senju Hashirama. Huh, what's that? Senju Tobirama. Interesting term. The leader of the root ninjas took a step forward, reaching out toward Makoto. Kid, don't make us use force. Come with us now. Makoto smirked and casually slapped the man's hand away. Look into my eyes. Instinctively, the 3 root ninjas locked eyes with him, only to freeze in shock. The tomo in his pupil spun rapidly before shifting into a star-like pattern. Sharingan. One of them blurted out. That's the Uchiha clan's Kekkei Genkei. How does he have it? Makoto's voice echoed around them, calm but absolute. Nothingness. The moment the words left his lips, the root ninjas suddenly found themselves trapped in a vast, empty space. The 3 root ninjas struggled, their bodies frozen in place. Their chakra was sealed, their weapons useless, and even the simplest movements felt impossible. What the hell is this? One of them shouted. Is this some kind of genjutsu? I can't move, another whispered in panic. They could only watch helplessly as Makoto materialized before them in the endless void, his figure looming over them with a smug grin. Impressive, isn't it? He said, tilting his head slightly. You should feel honored. This is the first time I've ever used this ability. The leader gritted his teeth, his voice laced with frustration. Damn brat, I didn't expect you to be hiding something like this. Makoto chuckled. Oh, there's a lot you don't know about me. But really, why should I explain anything to a dead man? With that, he reached into his pouch, pulled out a kunai, and spun it between his fingers. Then, he struck without hesitation. In mere seconds, the 3 ninjas collapsed, lifeless. Makoto let out a quiet breath and placed a hand over his eyes. The power of nothingness was overwhelming. With his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, he could keep using this ability without worry. He walked over to his chair and sat down, his gaze falling on the bodies sprawled across his floor. His face darkened slightly as a serious look filled his eyes. Senju Tobirama. Hey, kid, what's going through your head? Namikaze Minato. Yeah, why are you just staring at the corpses? Uchiha Madara. I bet he's just fed up with Danzo constantly sending people after him. Senju Hashirama. Makoto, I get it. There will be plenty of chances to deal with Danzo. But I hope you stay calm. We don't need any more chaos in the village. Uchiha Madara. Hashirama, you soft fool. Would you still say that if Makoto was weaker and actually got taken by these guys? Danzo is insufferable. Senju Hashirama. Alright. I'm dead anyway. Makoto, do whatever you want. I'll support you. Makoto Ito. What are you all going on about? I'm not going to see Danzo. Senju Tobirama. Oh yeah. Then what's with that serious face just now? Uchiha Madara. TCH. I thought you were about to stir up some real trouble. Senju Hashirama. If we can avoid causing a mess in the village, that would be ideal. Namikaze Minato. Makoto, this isn't like you. You've got something else in mind, don't you? Makoto Ito. I'm going to see my teacher. Uchiha Madara. Oh, ha, so you're planning to take that old monkey down first. Senju Hashirama. That's a bit much, isn't it? This wasn't Hiruzen's fault. Hyuga Hazashi. Master Madara, why do you always have to stir things up? Senju Hashirama. That's just how he is. Back in the day, he kept picking fights with me, but every time, I ended up knocking him flat. Uchiha Madara. Shut up, you idiot. Do you always have to bring that up? Senju Hashirama. But it's true. Uchiha Madara. Shut up, you moron. Stop showing off. Senju Hashirama. Senju Tobirama. So, Makoto, what exactly do you want from that sneaky old man? Makoto Ito. I need to ask him something. Am I really his student? Am I actually part of Konoha? Because if I am, then why does his good friend Danzo keep sending people to kill me? Makoto Ito. He hasn't given me much, but at least in name, I'm still his student. How he handles this situation will determine how I treat him moving forward. If he truly sees me as his disciple, I'll give him the respect he deserves. But if he keeps covering for his friend, then he better not blame me for what happens next. Uchiha Madara. Well said, kid. This is gonna be good. I've got my snacks ready. Let the show begin. Senju Tobirama. Interesting. I'd like to see how Hiruzen handles this too. If he can't do his job as Hokage properly, I won't mind cleaning up the mess myself. Senju Hashirama. Honestly, I think Makoto would make a great Hokage. He's got the strength, and he certainly doesn't act like a regular teenager. Maybe he should be Hokage in the future. Wasn't that his dream? Uchiha Madara. I second that. Makoto Ito. What are you talking about? I never said I wanted to be Hokage. I said I wanted to be a Hokage's man. Senju Hashirama. Uchiha Fugaku. Wait a minute, you don't want to be Hokage, but you want to be the Hokage's man. All the Hokages so far have been men. Does that mean, Uchiha Madara, you're into guys? Don't tell me you've got your eyes on Hashirama, Tobirama, or Minato. Please, for the love of all things sacred, don't say it's Hiruzen. I mean, your taste can't be that bad, right? Senju Hashirama, Senju Tobirama, Uchiha Izuna, Namikaze Minato, Uzumaki Kushina, Makoto Ito, Madara, Fugaku. You two have been getting comfortable lately. What kind of nonsense are you spewing? You're the ones into guys. Madara and Hashirama, Fugaku and Minato, you guys are the real couples here. You're perfect for each other. Uchiha Madara. What? Namikaze Minato. Why am I even involved in this? Makoto Ito. And while we're at it, didn't you see how your brother and Tobirama reacted just now? You really think those two aren't together? Uchiha Izuna, Senju Tobirama, Uchiha Madara. Fine, fine. Forget all that, but seriously, whose man are you planning to be? Don't tell me it's Naruto. Namikaze Minato, Uzumaki Kushina, Naruto, Makoto Ito. Hell no. Just because there's never been a female Hokage doesn't mean there never will be one. Are you saying women can't be Hokage, Madara? Are you discriminating against women? Uchiha Madara. Wait, hold on. Since when did I say that? Makoto Ito. You all remember Tsunade, right? Grandpa First's granddaughter. She's got the strength and the reputation to be Hokage. If she takes the title in the future, and I end up with her, doesn't that make me a Hokage's man? Uchiha Madara. Damn, kid, you're thinking way ahead. You even planned out your wife's future. Respect. Namikaze Minato. Wait, so you've already decided Tsunade-sama is going to be Hokage? Makoto Ito. That's right, my student. Namikaze Minato. Makoto Ito. What's wrong, my dear student? Why so quiet? Namikaze Minato. Has anyone ever told you that you're actually pretty likable, when you're not talking? Makoto Ito. Excuse me. Are you saying I'm not likable when I talk? Makoto thought for a moment and figured that Hiruzen was probably still in his office at this hour. Without wasting time, he grabbed the lifeless bodies of the 3 root ninjas and headed straight there. The Anbu guards stationed outside the Hokage's building recognized Makoto as Hiruzen's student, but when they saw him carrying 3 dead Anbu members, they were momentarily stunned. Makoto-sama, what's going on? Why are you carrying them? Wait, what exactly happened? Even though Makoto was still just a kid, being the Hokage's student earned him their respect, so they addressed him formally. I was attacked. Go tell my teacher right away, Makoto said seriously, giving the order without a second thought. The Anbu looked at each other, their shock evident in their eyes. Root had actually gone after the Hokage's student. Makoto-sama, are you hurt? Do you need medical attention? One of them immediately checked him over for injuries. I'm fine. Can I go in now? Makoto asked impatiently. Of course. Please follow me, one of the Anbu said quickly, leading him inside while another disappeared to inform Hiruzen. A short while later, Makoto stepped into the office, still carrying the 3 bodies. Hiruzen's eyes widened at the sight. He had already been briefed by the Anbu, but seeing it in person still caught him off guard. Makoto, what happened? Hiruzen asked, standing up from his chair, his expression serious. Without saying a word, Makoto dropped the bodies onto the floor with a dull thud. Then, turning to Hiruzen, his face dark with anger, he said, Sensei, I was just attacked. Who the hell are these guys? They barged into my room and ordered me to go with them. When I refused, they tried to take me by force. But they were weak, so I handled them easily. Makoto sighed as if the whole thing had just been an annoying inconvenience. Teacher, what's going on here? I'm supposed to be the Hokage's student, yet I was attacked inside the village. Does the village have a problem with me? Hiruzen could hear the frustration in Makoto's voice. Narrowing his eyes, he examined the bodies. Judging by their markings, this was a standard 3-man root team, 1 Jonin and 2 Chunin. They actually attacked Makoto, and he took them down. How is that even possible? Countless thoughts ran through Hiruzen's mind as he tried to make sense of it. Taking a deep breath, he finally asked, Makoto, tell me exactly what happened. How did they attack you? And how did you manage to kill them? Makoto gave him a cold look and asked flatly, Sensei, are you interrogating me? I just told you I was attacked, and instead of asking if I'm okay, you're questioning me like I did something wrong. Hiruzen sighed and tried to explain, that's not what I meant. I just need to understand the situation. From their markings, it looks like they were led by a Jonin, with 2 Chunin under him. How did you take them down so easily? Makoto didn't bother answering Hiruzen's question and instead asked, Sensei, shouldn't you be telling me who these guys are and why the hell they attacked me first? Hiruzen could tell that Makoto wasn't going to say anything until he got some answers. With a tired sigh, he finally spoke. These shinobi are from Root. They work under Elder Shimura Danzo, the same man you saw last time. Seeing Makoto's expression darken, Hiruzen quickly added, don't worry, I'll call him here and get to the bottom of this. He then summoned an Anbu and ordered them to fetch Danzo. Once the Anbu left, Hiruzen turned back to Makoto. Now, can you explain how you managed to kill these 3? Makoto shrugged and started recounting the events. I was at home, just got out of the bath, when these 3 suddenly barged in and told me to come with them. When I refused, they immediately got aggressive. One of them even said that if I didn't go, they'd drag me out and kick my ass. Makoto scoffed and continued, now, think about it. How could I let that slide? I'm the Hokage's student. If they kick my ass, isn't that the same as slapping you in the face? These guys had no idea they were messing with your reputation. Could I just stand there and take it? Of course not. As your student, I had to defend our honor. If they insult you, they insult me. So, I had no choice but to kill them. Hiruzen's lips twitched. What does he mean by getting kicked in the butt is the same as slapping me in the face? Since when was his ass connected to my reputation? And after all that talk, Makoto still hadn't given a proper explanation. The real question was how he killed them. Hiruzen took a deep breath. Makoto, let's set aside the whole butt-kicking and face-slapping thing for now. What I really want to know is how you took down a Jonin and 2 Chunin so effortlessly. He glanced at the corpses. Looking at their injuries, it's clear you didn't use any ninjutsu. They were all taken out in a single strike with a kunai. That means they had no chance to fight back. What exactly did you do? Did you use genjutsu? Makoto had been trying to avoid revealing his Mangekyo Sharingan. He had no way of explaining how he had awakened it. But now, Hiruzen had unknowingly given him a perfect excuse. Genjutsu, sure, why not? He could just say he created a new illusion technique. Makoto nodded seriously. That's right, sensei. I used genjutsu to kill them. A few days ago, I had a sudden realization and developed a new illusion technique. When they attacked me, I instinctively used it and it worked far better than I expected. Hiruzen stared at him, visibly skeptical. Is that so? Senju Tobarama. Kid, your lies are ridiculous. Do you think nobody's going to investigate the bodies? Corpses hold valuable intel. They can easily uncover exactly what happened in their final moments. The moment someone checks, you will be completely exposed. Makoto Ito. So what if they find out? At worst, Danzo will try to gouge my eyes out. But unlike a certain brainwashed fool, I won't go around revealing my Mangekyo Sharingan and its abilities. Even if they somehow figure it out, I'll deal with that bandaged bandit myself. Grandpa Second can help me handle my teacher. Uchiha Shisui. Why do I feel like that was aimed at me? Ha ha ha, maybe I'm just imagining things. Makoto Ito. No, that was definitely about you. Seriously, who in their right mind would tell people about their Mangekyo Sharingan? And to Danzo of all people. Uchiha Shisui, Uchiha Madara. Damn it, just thinking about it makes my blood boil. Such a powerful ability wasted on a clueless fool. Uchiha Shisui. Ancestor. Sigh. Uchiha Madara. I don't get it. What were you even thinking, telling Danzo and the others about your Mangekyo abilities? You said you wanted the Uchiha to be fully accepted into the village. Fine, let's assume that was a noble goal. But with the heavenly distinguished gods, you could have directly controlled Fugaku or other high-ranking Uchiha, hell, even the Hokage himself. You could have accomplished your goal in a single move. Why complicate things? Uchiha Shisui. I just didn't think that way at the time. Makoto Ito. No, it's not that you didn't think. It's that you couldn't think. You were just a brainwashed fool. Uchiha Izuna. Sigh. I guess he traded his brain for talent. Senju Tobarama. What a damn waste. Shisui was a once-in-a-generation genius, and yet he ended up like this. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. That damn monkey. I want to see how he handles this. Will he finally do something about Danzo, or will he just keep looking the other way? Meanwhile, in the Hokage's office, Hiruzen didn't bother questioning whether Makoto's story was true or not. The facts were right in front of him. Danzo had sent his men to attack his student. This wasn't the first time Hiruzen had warned Danzo to stop overstepping his bounds, but that man never seemed to listen. Just then, the sound of steady footsteps echoed in the hallway, followed by the tap of a cane hitting the floor. Moments later, the door creaked open, revealing an aged, grim-faced man. Danzo stepped inside, his expression cold. Hiruzen, what is it? I'm busy. I have more important matters to handle. His eyes didn't even flicker toward the 3 dead root operatives lying on the floor, as if they weren't even there. Hiruzen met Danzo's gaze, then glanced down at the corpses. His tone was calm, but there was a dangerous edge to it. Danzo, don't you think you owe me an explanation? Danzo didn't even spare a glance at the 3 lifeless bodies on the floor. Instead, he raised an eyebrow and asked in a casual tone, "Oh. What happened here? Why are there root ninjas lying around?" He finally glanced at the corpses, then looked back at Hiruzen, his expression indifferent. Could it be that enemy ninjas infiltrated the village? Are you calling me here just to collect the bodies? If that's the case, then I'll be on my way. I've got more important things to deal with. Hiruzen's patience snapped after hearing his words. Shut up, Danzo. I told you more than once. Stay away from Makoto. He is my student. But look at what you've done. You actually sent root operatives to attack him. You clearly don't take me seriously at all. Danzo strolled over to a chair and sat down as if he owned the place. Ha ha ha. When have I ever not taken you seriously? I always have you in my heart. He coughed lightly as he corrected his words. Ahem. I mean, I've always respected you as Hokage. From the bottom of my heart. Hiruzen's glare darkened. Danzo, don't try to change the subject. Tell me exactly what happened. Now. Danzo scoffed and crossed his arms. HMPH. I have nothing to explain. Everything I do is for the good of Konoha. Senju Tobarama. For Konoha. I almost threw up. Uchiha Izuna. He keeps saying for Konoha. Is he some kind of genius at destroying Konoha for Konoha? Uchiha Madara. Is this guy actually a spy? Sent from another village to tear Konoha apart from the inside? Hyuga Hazashi. That actually sounds believable. Senju Tobarama. I'm not an idiot to take in a spy as my student. He's definitely from Konoha. He's just insufferable. Namikaze Minato. But I really don't get it. Why does he keep doing this? Danzo, oblivious to everything, repeated himself loudly. Everything I've done has been for Konoha. Namikaze Minato. Did he just answer my question? Is this some kind of telepathic connection? Hiruzen clenched his fists, his anger boiling over. Danzo, I am the Hokage. Danzo sneered. Hiruzen, you'll regret this. And with that, he turned on his heel and walked out. After all, why should he worry? No matter how many times Hiruzen called him in, the pattern was always the same. A few harsh words, a little scolding, and then everything would go back to normal. This was just another routine. He'd walk out, cool off for a bit, and then get back to doing whatever he wanted. That's how it had always been. And he was sure it would be the same this time too. Sparky's note. By the way, last week, we actually hit number 1 in the power rankings. I never expected us to be ahead of that MHA fanfic, especially considering how good it is. And on top of that, that one's an original, while this is just a translation. I know firsthand how hard it is to write a novel since I've written a few myself, so seeing this happen is just insane. Oh, and we also passed 4 million views and made it into the top 200 in the all-time collection rankings. Let's go. A new week has begun. Keep those power stones coming, and I'll drop bonus chapters for you all. Danzo knew that if he slammed the door and stormed out, the whole situation would be over. But when he grabbed the door handle and pulled, it didn't budge. Frowning, he turned his head and saw Makoto, who had planted his foot against the door, stopping it from opening. A wave of irritation surged through Danzo. His signature move, the dramatic door slam, had been blocked. He yanked at the door a few more times, but it still wouldn't open. His eyes narrowed as he glanced at Makoto, feeling a rare moment of shock. This kid is already this strong. Even though he hadn't used his full strength, the fact that Makoto could hold the door shut this easily was impressive. He's definitely a genius. Now I want him en route even more. A glint of greed flashed in Danzo's eyes. Before he could try again, Hiruzen's sharp voice rang out from behind. Danzo, you still haven't given me an explanation. Where do you think you're going? Hiruzen stepped forward, his chakra flaring. If you don't clear this up right now, you're not leaving this room. You just said you and Root are always busy. Tell me, is your business secretly taking out the village's most talented shinobis? In that case, there's no reason for your Root to exist anymore. Hand it over to me. I'll take good care of it. I'll put your organization to proper use. If you can't give me an explanation, then you can forget about leading Root any longer. Makoto stood to the side, listening with an odd expression. Why does this sound so weird? Hand over Danzo's Root, take good care of it. What the hell are these old men even talking about? Are all the higher-ups in this village like this? Will I end up like them one day? He shuddered at the thought. Just imagining it made him uneasy. Senju Hashirama. Why does this conversation sound so off? Namikaze Minato. Yeah, what does he mean by Danzo's Root? Uchiha Izuna. Take good care of it and use it well. Uchiha Madara. Is Hiruzen telling Danzo to become a eunuch? If not, then what the hell does he mean? Hyuga Hazashi. Either way, Danzo's Root will be in Lord Hokage's hands in the future. Yuhi Shinku. And he promised to use it well. Uchiha Madara. PFF'd, stop it. I can't get the image out of my head. Damn it, is this the downside of having such a strong mind? Someone, get this out of my head already. Senju Tobarama. Looks like things aren't going well for you and my brother either. After all, you aren't the type to think about anything except my brother. Uchiha Madara. Tobirama, what are you taking about? And stop acting like you and my brother are so innocent. You always have something to say about me and Hashirama. What makes you think you're any better? Let me tell you, once you're labeled as gay, you're gay for life. There's no escape. Uchiha Izuna. Big brother, can you not drag me into this mess right now? I'm not gay. Senju Tobarama. TCH. Might die. This is overflowing with the flames of youth. Such passion. Sakumo. This is the power of youth. Hitaki Sakumo. Hell no, I've been keeping quiet to avoid getting dragged into this nonsense. Why did you have to call my name? Do you want me to get labeled as a gay too? Do you have a problem or what? Hyuga Hazashi. You guys are unreal. Unlike me, I only care about my brother's well-being. Nothing more and nothing less. Makoto Ito. Oh, do you have something going on with your brother? Now that I think about it, it makes perfect sense. You gave up your life for your brother after all. Hyuga Hazashi. Makoto, what the hell are you talking about? Please stop talking. I sacrificed myself to protect my clan and the village. I definitely didn't do it for my brother. Makoto Ito. Uncle, why are you getting defensive all of a sudden? I was just messing with you. Don't tell me. Yuhi Shinku. Wait, Makoto, even though you were just joking, what you said does make sense. Could it be Hazashi as a Senju Tobarama? Could it be Hazashi as a Uchiha Madara? Could it be Hazashi as a Hyuga Hazashi? Wait, no, don't do this to me. Senju Tobarama. Who knows what's really going on in that head of yours? Maybe you just slipped up and revealed your true thoughts. Uchiha Madara. PFFT, ha 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 ha. Closing square bracket. Hyuga Hazashi. Master Madara, you're the last person who should be laughing at me. You literally have a tattoo of the Lord First on your chest. Uchiha Madara. You damn bastard. How dare you mock me too? Uzumaki Kushina. Ugh, you guys are seriously disgusting. Uchiha Makoto, agreed. What the hell are they even talking about? None of them are normal. Uchiha Fugaku, Makoto, I swear I had nothing to do with Minato. Uchiha Makoto, oh, shut up. We still need to talk about that later. Uchiha Fugaku, Namikaze Minato, no, we are completely fine, I swear. Uchiha Fugaku, I give up. We ain't escaping the allegations. At this moment, Danzo was feeling genuinely awkward. He had planned to storm out and end the conversation, but Makoto had blocked the door, making his usual dramatic exit impossible. Danzo, why are you so quiet? Are you really ready to step down as the leader of Root? Makoto glanced at Hiruzen in surprise. He had assumed that Sarutobi Hiruzen would just scold Danzo a little and then let him walk away. After all, the two of them were old friends, why would Hiruzen actually punish him? But now, it seemed like Hiruzen was serious. Danzo tugged at the door again, still unable to open it. Frustrated, he turned around and narrowed his one good eye, glaring coldly at Makoto. But Makoto didn't flinch, he just leaned against the door, completely unfazed, then shifted his gaze to Hiruzen. Senju Tobarama. That bandaged bastard still has the nerve to glare at people. Does he have no shame? When I come back to life, I swear, I'll gouge out his damn eyeballs. Uchiha Shisui. Lord Sekken, don't tell me Danzo learned that from you. Do you and your students have a habit of taking people's eyes? Senju Tobarama. Excuse me. I am not his teacher, and I would never claim someone like him as my student. Makoto Ito. Hey, grandpas, Danzo clearly doesn't take me seriously. He sees me as some weak kid he can push around. Honestly, I think he just thought of kicking my ass. But there's no way I can let that happen, not when so many of you have high hopes for me. At this point, isn't kicking my ass the same as slapping all of you in the face? If he dares to lay a hand on me, I won't hold back. Senju Tobarama. Kid, what did we ever do to you? Why are you dragging us into this? You can say that to that damn monkey 1,000 times for all I care. Senju Hashirama. Tobarama, what are you talking about? I don't see anything wrong with what he said. Someone explain it to me. Uchiha Madara. You idiot, he just compared his butt to our faces. Back in the real world, Danzo kept his gaze locked on Hiruzen. Hiruzen, what kind of explanation do you even want from me? Hiruzen took a slow drag from his pipe, his face cold and serious. How many times do I have to say it before you get it? Makoto is my student. I've warned you more than once to stay out of his business, but you still tried to kidnap him. Danzo, do you forget that I'm the Hokage? Do you not take my orders seriously at all? Danzo exhaled sharply, finally understanding what Hiruzen was getting at. So this wasn't just about Makoto, it was about him ignoring the Hokage's authority. Hiruzen was using this as an excuse to put him in his place. Danzo didn't care about that. As long as he still had control over Root, he could deal with taking a loss here. But if he didn't back down, Hiruzen would take the opportunity to weaken his power, and if he lost Root, what leverage would he have left to compete for Hokage position? In his opinion, Hiruzen was getting old. If Konoha was going to truly thrive, it needed to be in his hands. Only he had the vision to restore Konoha's former glory. Everything I've done, it's all been for Konoha. Danzo studied Makoto Ito for a moment before speaking. Kid, this was my mistake. How do you want me to make up for it? But Makoto wasn't really paying attention. Danzo was looking at him and saying something, but what was it exactly? For a moment, Makoto didn't react. Wait, what? I was the one attacked, and now I have to make up for it. As he thought of this, Makoto couldn't hold back and said, looking at Danzo. You think I am a damn fool? Why the hell would I make up for it? Danzo blinked, momentarily stunned. What the hell is this kid talking about? Did this brat even listen to me? Even Hiruzen, standing off to the side, looked confused. Danzo had already taken a loss in this whole mess, and Makoto was clearly the victim. Now, Danzo had even offered to make it up to him, but instead of responding, Makoto seemed completely out of the loop. Danzo just stood there, dumbfounded, staring at him. Makoto immediately flared up. You have the nerve to look at me like that. Your people attacked me, and now you expect me to make up for it? Where do you get the audacity to say such things? What the hell are you looking at? Not happy about it? Come at me then. You think I'm some pushover? You think being an elder makes you important? Who the hell do you think you are? Come at me, old man. Makoto was already preparing to activate Sage Mode if things escalated. Senju Tobarama. Kid, calm down for a second. Did you not listen to Danzo's words at all? He was literally saying he's willing to make up for his mistake, not the other way around. How the hell did you even mix this up? Senju Hashirama. Damn, for a second there, I thought I misheard everything when Makoto suddenly started yelling at Danzo. Uchiha Madara. No, you fool. Makoto just wasn't paying attention and misunderstood what Danzo actually said. Uchiha Izuna. Ha 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 ha, I'm dying over here. Look at Danzo's confused face. Uchiha Fugaku. Ha 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 ha, that expression is priceless. Seeing him eat his own words is so satisfying. Makoto Ito. Wait, are you guys seriously telling me the truth? You're not just messing with me to calm me down. Namikaze Minato. No, really. Danzo was actually trying to make up for his mistake. He asked you to name your conditions. Makoto Ito. Damn it. Why the hell did I have to run my mouth? What were you guys even doing? You should have stopped me as soon as I started talking. Hyuga Hazashi. Well, I think no one wanted to stop you since you basically scolded Danzo on their behalf. Back in the Hokage's office, both Danzo and Hiruzen were staring at Makoto with blank expressions. Danzo's face darkened, his one good eye narrowing dangerously. Hiruzen, on the other hand, was still trying to process why Makoto had suddenly lost his temper and lashed out. Danzo just agreed to take responsibility. So why had Makoto chewed him out so aggressively? After quickly checking the group chat, Makoto finally realized his mistake. He scratched his head awkwardly. Haha, Lord Danzo, I was just joking. You know, a little humor to lighten the mood. Funny, right? He grinned innocently. Danzo gritted his teeth so hard they might crack. His jaw tensed, and he spat out his words slowly. Kid, don't waste my time. Just tell me what you want already. Seeing his furious expression, Makoto couldn't help but find it amusing. Makoto Ito. Guys, do you think he wants to kill me right now? Senju Tobarama. Do you even need to ask? If he had the chance, he'd probably kill you 1,000 times over. Uchiha Madara. If Hiruzen wasn't here, he would have attacked you already. Namikaze Minato. You should be careful moving forward. Danzo holds grudges, and he always gets revenge. You humiliated him today, he won't forget that. Uchiha Shisui. Makoto, be cautious. Danzo isn't someone you can just ignore. Makoto Ito. What are you guys talking about? As long as Danzo doesn't attack me personally, he's not a threat. And even if he did come at me, I could take him down easily. Senju Hashirama. Honestly, just using my sage arts should be enough. Uchiha Madara. Shut up, you moron. Did you forget about all those Sharingan eyes he stole? And the Hashirama cells he implanted? Even if he's a trash, he's a dangerous trash. Makoto will need his Susanoo or his nothingness ability to handle him properly. Senju Hashirama. Oh, but I still beat you without even using Sage Mode. Uchiha Madara. You idiot. Senju Hashirama. Madara, I know. I was just messing with you. Don't be mad, okay. Uchiha Izuna. Don't be mad, okay. That's disgusting. Senju Tobarama. Damn it, I just got full body chills. Back in the real world, Danzo stared at Makoto, who was still chuckling to himself. His patience was wearing thin, and his irritation was starting to show. Kid, have you thought about what you want yet? Just say it already. Makoto grinned and threw a glance at Hiruzen, who was standing nearby, watching silently. Actually, I don't have any demands. After all, I'm just a regular civilian ninja. Danzo frowned, sensing sarcasm in his voice. I mean, sure, I am a genius. And yeah, I did master the multi-shadow clone jutsu and Rasengan in a ridiculously short time. Hiruzen raised an eyebrow, already guessing where this was going. And, of course, I was personally taken in as a student by the third Hokage. Even though my teacher has repeatedly warned you not to mess with me, how could I possibly compare to you, Lord Danzo? I mean, I'm just an ordinary civilian ninja. Danzo's forehead twitched, veins popping in irritation. His fingers curled into a fist as his patience thinned even further. Hiruzen, meanwhile, took a deep drag from his pipe, exhaling a thick cloud of smoke, hiding the smirk that was threatening to spread across his face. After a moment, he composed himself and turned to Makoto with a smile. Makoto, I understand that you're upset, but didn't Danzo just say he's willing to make it up to you? But if you're really that dissatisfied, I could always remove him as Root's leader and send him into early retirement. Makoto squinted at Hiruzen, trying to figure out whether he was being serious or just messing with him. After thinking for a moment, he decided to test the waters. Well then, how about giving me 10 million ryo to spend? Nothing crazy. Danzo visibly flinched. His hands clenched tighter as a dangerous glint flashed through his single eye. Hiruzen's pipe nearly slipped from his fingers. Makoto continued, acting completely innocent. You know I'm an orphan, teacher. I don't have any savings or assets. 10 million ryo should last me a while. I'm not too greedy, I just happen to be a little short on money right now. Just a casual 10 million ryo, and I'll be perfectly satisfied. Hiruzen's lips twitched as he struggled to keep his face composed. This little brat has some nerve. Asking for 10 million ryo right off the bat. On the other side, Danzo's eye widened in disbelief. How much did you just say? Makoto looked at him in confusion. 10 million ryo. Why, is that too small? You don't think so, right? I mean, I know a number as small as 10 million ryo is probably nothing to someone of your status, Lord Danzo. But if you insist, how about 50 million? That sounds a bit more reasonable. Hiruzen coughed, nearly choking on the smoke from his pipe. Danzo's face darkened, and his teeth gritted audibly. Makoto was fully aware of Danzo's growing rage and smiled even brighter. After all, this whole situation happened due to your negligence. I'm sure you feel terrible about it. You probably regret it deeply and blame yourself for letting root ninjas attack me, right? So, if you give me the money, I'll be happy, and you won't have to carry that heavy guilt around anymore. Doesn't that sound like a deal? Hiruzen exhaled deeply, shaking his head with an amused smile. Makoto clapped his hands together, pretending to be completely sincere. I'm sure this was just a misunderstanding. Lord Danzo, a man of your status, would never let something like this happen again, right? In the future, I'm sure Root will definitely not go around randomly poking people. Danzo's fingers twitched as if resisting the urge to grab a kunai. I mean, there won't be any more random attack our village's shinobis, right? Hiruzen cleared his throat, watching Danzo's growing fury with amusement. Makoto took one last step forward and grinned. Besides, you're Konoha's elder, the leader of Root. Are you really going to get hung up over a little bit of money? Danzo's aura nearly exploded. His hands were trembling, not out of fear, but out of sheer, barely contained rage. Hiruzen was barely holding back his laughter. He looked away and took another slow drag from his pipe. Kid, do you have any idea how much 10 million ryo is? Don't think you can take advantage of me. You'll regret this. Danzo gripped his cane tightly, his glare fixed on Makoto. Makoto casually corrected him. Lord Danzo, it's not 10 million, it's 50 million. Danzo's eye twitched as he turned to Hiruzen. Are you seriously letting your student talk to me like this? Hiruzen, who had been enjoying the exchange a little too much, cleared his throat. Ahem, Makoto, 50 million ryo is a lot of money. Maybe you don't realize just how much that is. It's excessive. Makoto smirked and shrugged. Fine, 10 million then. I'm not greedy. Hiruzen nodded. Alright, 10 million it is. Danzo, stop arguing. Either pay up, or forget about leading Root. Danzo stared at him in disbelief. Hiruzen, are you out of your mind? He doesn't even know what 10 million ryo is worth, but you do. And you're just handing it over to a kid. Hiruzen's voice hardened. Danzo, I'm the Hokage. Danzo's face twisted in frustration. You'll regret this, Hiruzen. With that, he stormed toward the door, only to realize it wouldn't budge. Makoto's foot was still blocking it. Danzo scowled. Move your damn foot. I need to go tell my men to send the money. He waved his hand, collected the bodies of his fallen subordinates, and finally shoved the door open, slamming it shut behind him with a loud bang. The sound gave him a small sense of satisfaction. His signature dramatic exit had been perfectly executed. Without that final bang, something always felt incomplete. Makoto turned to Hiruzen. Sensei, you're just letting him take the bodies. Weren't they valuable for information? And honestly, Danzo's a shady guy. Who knows what kind of weird stuff he's gonna do with them? Hiruzen rolled his eyes and lightly smacked Makoto on the head. Quit talking nonsense. Sure, a ninja's corpse holds valuable intel, but let's be real, he was never going to hand those bodies over to me. Root is knee-deep in dirty things and he's been hiding them underground for years. Even as Hokage, there's no way he'd just hand me evidence on a silver platter. He sighed, rubbing his temple. Truthfully, Hiruzen had his doubts. Could Makoto have really taken them down using just illusions? It seemed unlikely, but if Makoto didn't want to explain, Hiruzen wouldn't press him. He was his student, after all. More than that, Hiruzen trusted his will of fire completely. As for Danzo's 10 million ryo, it was no small sum. More importantly, though, this wasn't just about the money. It was a way of striking back at Danzo, forcing him to take him seriously, even if just for a while. A short time later, a root ninja arrived at the Hokage's office, carrying a sealed scroll. Lord Hokage, this is the sealing scroll Lord Danzo asked me to deliver, the ninja said flatly. Without waiting for a response, he dropped the scroll on the desk and left immediately. Hiruzen narrowed his eyes as he watched the root ninja leave. What was he thinking? No one knew. Makoto, on the other hand, wasn't wasting time overthinking it. Root ninjas were only loyal to Danzo, why would they respect the Hokage? What really mattered now was the money. Makoto picked up the scroll and unsealed it. Poof! In an instant, a massive pile of cash appeared, stacked high in the room. The moment he saw it, Makoto's eyes literally turned into the shape of money. If an outsider had witnessed the scene, they might have mistaken it for the awakening of a brand new dojutsu. Senju Tobarama. Are you fucking kidding me? His eyes turned into the shape of money. Is this the legendary Ryogan? Uchiha Izuna. Wait, is this an actual dojutsu? Uchiha Madara. Damn, just how much does this kid love money? Makoto Ito. What are you all on about? What's wrong with loving money? With money, you can eat whatever you want, live wherever you want. This is basic common sense. Senju Tobarama. I gotta admit, kid, you always manage to say some wise things. I have no idea where you even learned them from. Senju Hashirama. Actually, I don't think he's wrong. Back when we first founded Konoha, Mito and Tobarama were the ones handling all the money. I was so broke that I had to ask Madara for pocket money every single day. Uchiha Madara. Now that this fool mentioned it, I do remember a time when he gambled away all the money Mito gave him for buying fruit. Instead of admitting it, he tried to grow fruit trees using wood style, right in the middle of the village. And do you know what excuse he gave me when I caught him? He said he was training to improve his wood style. So, of course, I immediately snitched on him and told Mito. Makoto Ito. Wait, the ghost of the Uchiha actually snitched on someone. Uchiha Madara. Brat, why do I feel like you sound disappointed about that? Makoto Ito. What are you saying, Grandpa? I'm just surprised. Anyway, your story just gave me an idea. Grandpa first, when I revive you in the future, I'll put you to work farming. With wood style, you can grow all kinds of crops, vegetables, and fruits. We'll be rich in no time. Senju Hashirama. That's genius. Why didn't I think of this before? Makoto Ito. Not just farming, you can also build houses. Senju Hashirama. Oh my god. Why have I never thought of this before? Uchiha Madara. This kid's ideas are weird but actually useful. Unlike someone who only used his wood style to fight me with giant wooden dolls instead of doing anything practical. Senju Hashirama. Well, anyway, I think Makoto's idea is great. Madara. When we get resurrected, let's become farmers and spread greenery all over the world. Senju Tobarama. Is this the legendary pastoral life of men farming and women weaving? Hyuga Hazashi. Just thinking about it feels oddly peaceful. Namikaze Minato. Yeah, Master Madara farming, the first lord cooking at home, waiting for Madara to wait. I mean, I got it mixed up. Uzumaki Mito. Minato, don't think you can fool me. Why was the first thing you thought of Madara and Hashirama instead of me and that idiot? So, in your mind, I'm not with Hashirama anymore. Madara and Hashirama are the real couple, huh? Damn it, I swear I will strangle you all with my chains. Senju Tobarama. Ahem, Mito, for the record, I didn't say a single word. It was that blonde kid, the one who was supposedly the fourth Hokage. Hyuga Hazashi. Lady Mito, I sincerely apologize. But, could you lower your chakra pressure a little? I'm nowhere near your house, and I can still feel it. Uzumaki Kushina. Grandma Mito. Don't be mad, I already hung Minato up and whipped him with adamantine sealing chains for the matter with Fugaku. If you want, I can reluctantly whip him for, I don't know, 5 more hours. Namikaze Minato. Help, I was wrong. I won't ever open my mouth again. Ever. Uzumaki Kushina. Shut up, you idiot. Because of you, Grandma's angry. Adamantine ceiling chains. Namikaze Minato. Help, Arg, Uzumaki Mito. That's the way, Kushina. I'm glad my advice didn't go to waste. Men are all the same. You have to discipline them. If you don't smack them around every now and then, they start acting up. When in doubt, just hit them, and that's that. Right, Hashirama, Senju Hashirama. Wait, Mito. Don't hit me. I swear I won't go play with Madara today. No, wait. I already didn't hang out with him all morning. A morning is a long time, okay. How about just an hour? Just 1 hour with Madara. Senju Hashirama. Look, I've already made such a huge sacrifice. Can't you at least not hit me? Uchiha Madara. So this is why you kept disappearing lately. Uzumaki Mito. Hashirama. What did I just say? Adamantine ceiling chains. Senju Hashirama. Ah, Uchiha Madara. Rest in peace, my friend. It was nice knowing you. Senju Tobarama. Phew, glad I didn't get married. Uchiha Izuna. Damn, just his screams are giving me chills. Makoto, meanwhile, had no interest in watching Minato and Hashirama get beaten senseless. Instead, he was happily counting his money in the Hokage's office. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Oh, money. Senju Tobarama. Kid, why are you acting like an idiot? Uchiha Izuna. He looks like a money-crazed demon. Uchiha Madara. Brat, why are you so excited over a few measly million? Back in my day, I didn't step outside without at least a few 100 million. Uchiha Izuna. Brother, what did you even do with all that money? Uchiha Madara. I gave it to Hashirama. He got upset when I snitched on him, so I had to bribe him. Eventually, it just became a habit. Uchiha Izuna. Ohoho. I had a feeling, but still, ohoho. Senju Tobarama. Ohoho. Hyuga Hazashi. Ohoho. Yuhi Shinku. Ohoho. Senju Hashirama. Madara, save me, please. Uchiha Madara. Shut up, you idiot. Uzumaki Mito. You dare ask for help. Fine, I'll make sure you really regret it. Mind's Eye of the Kagura. Adamantine ceiling chains. Senju Hashirama. Ah, Hiruzen watched Makoto counting money beside him, and for a moment, he felt a little tempted. Most of the money he had went into strengthening and supporting his clan. He never really had anything for himself. Hiruzen cleared his throat. Makoto, you're still young. How about I hold onto that money for you? When you're older, I'll give it back. The instant those words left his mouth, Makoto moved at lightning speed, sweeping all the money back into the ceiling scroll before securing it to his back. Then, he stood up, straightened his clothes, and put on the most serious expression he could manage. Sensei, it's getting late, you should rest early, I'll be heading home now. See you later. Before Hiruzen could even react, Makoto used body flicker technique and jumped straight out the window. Crash, shattered glass fell to the floor as Hiruzen stood there, utterly speechless. For more thrilling fanfiction stories like this, check out my channel Fanfic audiobook. Dive into epic adventures, mysterious realms, and legendary journeys brought to life through immersive storytelling. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing audiobooks.